And so, it continues. Hello there, welcome back to the lightning round version of the writing advice Q&A. In tonight's episode, I have a question from a viewer just like you. But before I go on anywhere, I'm going to tell you the usual and remind you that the following is merely just my advice, my opinion, and what works for me. Don't take it as gospel, instead take it as the writing advice of a silly person who looks a little bit, or rather precisely, like this. Gotta go fast! The question of today goes a little bit like this. Hi Max, I've been writing for a couple of years now, but I'm not sure if I'm getting better. I think my writing is still really weak, like I under-describe or over-describe things. How do you know when you have gotten, at least, a little good at writing? This here is a very interesting question, and one that I am delighted to talk about today. First off though, I will present to you a situation. How do you know that a tree is growing? You look outside and you see it and it's there. I mean, if you keep looking at it and it looks the same as it did yesterday and the same as it did the day before that, is there any way for us to know that it's actually growing? That it's actually going anywhere? And the answer to that question, as with your situation, how do you know if you're improving? How do you know if you're getting better? How do you know if that tree is actually growing? You can't tell right now, but you are. And it is growing, and you are getting better. It's gonna take a little while for you to notice though. There's one misconception in the question, and I'll tackle it at the end, but for now I need you to understand that it's really hard to know how far you have come until you have finished something. And people have been wondering for a while, is like, Max, why do you keep saying that, to improve as a writer you have to finish things? You have to finish things. Because when you write a whole book, and you let it sit for a while, and you pick it up and you start the revision process, you will realize how far you have come. Because you will see all of the mistakes you made in the first draft. You will see all of them, but you're gonna move forward. You're gonna acknowledge the mistakes that you made, learn from them, understand what was ineffective about what you did, and move on from there. But you can't do that. You can't know what you did wrong, you can't know what is ineffective until you make it all the way to the end of the journey, set it aside, and pick it up again a while after. What you need to understand is that writing is forward movement. You're always moving forward. As long as you keep on writing, as long as you finish things, as long as you revise them, you will keep moving forward because you are moving on with the entire process. I've said this in the past, and I'm gonna say it again. The writing that you're doing now is better than the writing you did a year ago, and the writing that you will do a year from now is gonna be so much better than what you're writing right now, but you're not gonna get there unless you keep on writing. So this is what I keep saying, this is what I keep reminding people, you gotta finish things, you gotta finish what you start, see it all the way through, let it sit, go write something else, come back, revise the story, because that will give you the scope. You will realize, oh, I keep making this one mistake, apparently I don't know how to spell this one word. Stuff like that, little things like that, and bigger things like character motivations and little slight plot problems that emerge in certain stories. You will learn to notice them, to see them, and you will seek to make the story better, stronger, the best it can possibly be. But you're not gonna get there unless you keep on writing and unless you finish things. And about the misnomer I mentioned, don't assume. Don't even consider the idea that your favorite authors, the people that you look up to, the people who are doing this, write, and what they write is good from the start. Don't even consider that to be remotely close to the realm of reality, because it's not, it's fantasy. Every first draft of everything you love was terrible. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone over-describes certain things and under-describes others. But that's okay, because the first draft doesn't really matter, as long as you revise it gloriously. It took time, it took work, and it took making it through the entire process to make them what they are today. And your stories will go through the same process, but you can't get there unless you finish things, okay? Okay, and that was another lightning round question. I hope that you enjoyed what I had to say, and if you have your own thoughts, let us know in the comments down below, as well as leaving your questions for future videos. I make it a point to give a quick reply to all the questions that I get, and who knows, maybe your question will be featured in one of these future lightning rounds. For the time being though, time for the really quick outro. If you want to make sure that I can continue on making these videos for the foreseeable future, please consider checking out my Patreon, somewhere on the screen right now. There's also a link to subscribe if you haven't already, maybe a link to the writing advice playlist, and maybe a link to the playlist of that channel I have with Kitty where we make silly videos. For the time being, thank you for watching, thank you for tagging along, and I will see you on the next one.